The Prime Minister is defending his government's policies after facing criticism from big business. The Business Council has launched an attack on the Albanese government over industrial relations laws, regulations and taxes.
All smiles upon arrival, but once inside, the gloves were off.
They did say you were going to fire up tonight.
Prime Minister Anthony Albanese has been forced to defend his government's reform agenda in an address at the Business Council of Australia annual dinner.
I lead a government that is proudly pro-business and pro-worker.
The BCA Chief Executive, Bran Black, and President, Geoff Culbert, both delivered a scathing review of the government's industrial relations laws, regulations and taxes earlier in the night.
Many CEOs have said they're far more cautious about hiring after the government's recent workplace relation changes.
We genuinely believe these will hurt the long-term success of the country.
While calling for less red tape and regulation, both also warned of the impact of populism.
It may be popular to bash big business, but in doing so, we are making success taboo in this country.
And together we stand as one against populist policy and business bashing.
Mr Brand stressed that competitiveness, productivity, growth and prosperity must be a priority, something he says many CEOs in Australia feel is lacking.
Rather than feeling confident in our growing prosperity, many CEOs feel as though we are losing our way. Instead of taking the big steps on things that matter, we are taking incremental but noticeable and sometimes significant steps backwards.
The Prime Minister acknowledged what he labelled the difference in opinion between the government and BCA, but stopped short of offering any compromise.
I am optimistic that government and business can do this together. We have different responsibilities that demand different approaches, so it is inevitable we will have occasional differences of opinion.
With an election looming next year, the Prime Minister doubled down on his government's reforms.
Throughout the past 2 and a bit years, we've stood against some pretty extreme anti-business policies put forward by members of the crossbench, and perhaps more surprisingly, by the opposition. We've stood up for some of Australia's biggest employers when others have attacked you for holding a different view to their own.
Christy Lloyd, Sky News.